Hey friends, Jordan here from the parish in Alpharetta, and I hope that you all are having a great summer so far, getting some time to rest and perhaps get away like I am this week on vacation, but wanted to check in briefly to give you a couple of places that we would love to invite your prayers and also share some places where we're feeling encouraged in our context here at the parish. We gather each year in what we call a ministry year that runs from August to June. And so we have just wrapped up our ministry year. And then in the month of July, we pause from our typical worship gatherings and engage what we call Summer Sundays, for chances to be the church outside of the walls of our building and to practice what it means to be Christ people, flowing out of the mission of Pentecost. And so this first Sunday, we will practice loving our neighbors in practical, tangible ways. The next week, we will focus on caring for the poor. And then the third week, we will focus on praying for our cities. And then we'll return to do some volunteer orientation and training as we prepare to regather for the start of a new ministry year in August. There's a handful of things that we're feeling encouraged about at the church. We continue to be in a season of um, growing and just grateful to see new families getting connected to our community and also just seeing a deepening happening. We are launching a new type of small groups that we're calling circles, which are groups at the intersection of the spirit and our stories. We look into our stories both historically and in the current ways that God is coming to us through ordinary life and share that in the context of safe, trusted relationships. And so we're excited to pilot those groups for the first time this fall. We also will begin a new ministry year of house churches. We have 19 house church communities that are spread across our area where about 20 to 25 folks or so gather once a month for sharing life and community and a meal together. And then we also just had, for the very first time, a catechism retreat for our teenagers. We have just hired our first youth pastor at the parish, and this catechism retreat is one of the things that was a lead up to that. We took 2 days, gathered with our students through a homegrown curriculum that tries to marry theology, orthodoxy, orthopraxy, spiritual formation, emotional health, and prayer practices for our teenagers. And it was just a really beautiful couple of days with them as we walked through the story of Scripture from Genesis to Revelation and let them really engage the discussion together. One place we would just really love your prayers is continued discernment, provision, and clarity around our facility. We have about 1 year left on our current lease, and we know that some sort of change is coming, but the answers don't seem clear. And as so many of you know, just a really tricky needle to thread. And so we are looking at a handful of options. We are praying for clarity on what is the invitation for our community, for our context, what is the unique vocation God has given us, and what is the facility that would best facilitate that. And then just asking for the provision to come and the clarity to come and the guidance to come. And so would just love your prayers, joining us in praying that God would make clear the next space and place that we are to call home as a church. All right, y'all. I hope you have wonderful summers and that things are well in your world. Looking forward to seeing you all next time our paths cross. Thanks. Bye.